G'day Whovians and welcome back to my channel. Another week, another Doctor Who episode, another episode of Whovu. Oh my god, I can never get that right, can I? Another episode of Who Review. There we go. In this episode of Who Review, I will be discussing the second 60th anniversary special, Wild Blue Yonder. Before I jump into the review, just a heads up that this video will contain spoilers from the second Doctor Who 60th anniversary special.
Spoilers.
So if you haven't seen the episode, go and watch it, then come back, sit back, relax, and enjoy the review. So, Wild Blue Yonder. I don't even know where to begin discussing this story. I don't even know where to start. I think with this story, there was so much theorising about certain cameos from certain doctors or companions, so much so that people were actually convinced that some familiar faces were going to show up throughout the story. But there weren't any. And I think a lot of people are going to be very disappointed in this story, specifically because of the lack of cameos. For me, preparing for this story, I focused really hard on not getting my hopes up for anything. I wasn't too bothered by the idea of cameos. If a previous Doctor did show up, then great, I would have welcomed them with open arms. If not, then oh well. But I think that a lot of people got their hopes up about this story, and I think because of that, the negative reviews will stem directly from the lack of things that people were expecting. So I think that I'll officially start the review by saying, I liked this story. I think I did. I don't really know. It feels like one of those stories that requires a second viewing to be 100% sure. There was just so much and it was so twisted and so confusing that I think I need to watch it again. Nonetheless, I enjoyed a lot of aspects of the story, and there are a few little things that I was a bit unsure of. I'll start off by talking about the exciting little appearance of Sir Isaac Newton to kickstart the story. Look, I thought this scene was very unexpected, but a very welcome surprise. It provided a great little bit of comedy to kickstart the story. The only issue that I had was the fact that Isaac Newton was race swapped. What? Why? I'd understand if this was a completely new character, but Isaac Newton is a historical figure. People know what he's supposed to look like. There was no need to race swap him for the sake of it. Moving on and jumping straight into the story itself, we saw the TARDIS land in a very unfamiliar spaceship. Now, I quite like that the TARDIS kind of deserted the Doctor and Donna. It really felt like they were trapped, and it really kind of upped the antics of the episode. And excuse my language, but it really felt like when the TARDIS left, as the viewer, you were kind of like, oh shit. I thought that it was really great to see Donna Noble in an outer space story. This story made me realise that in Series 4, we never had Donna in space, directly in space. We had Donna on different planets, but nothing that was entirely set in space. So for me, this was exciting to see Donna playing and interacting with the concept of being stranded on a spaceship in space in the middle of nowhere. Again, the chemistry between David and Catherine was beautiful. The interactions between the Doctor and Donna were so heartwarming, especially having the Doctor reacting to Donna's uncertainty and her fear of being trapped in outer space. The special effects of this story were phenomenal. I thought that the settings were beautifully created and that the vibe of the spaceship was nailed completely. I thought that it really brilliantly conveyed the idea that we were on a spaceship in the middle of nowhere. Going into this story, we knew very little. Me personally, I had managed to avoid any spoilers online, and so I very much watched this story blindsided. So with that, I sat watching this story feeling very uneasy, very uncomfortable, and very nervous. I didn't know what to expect, and I had absolutely zero ideas for where we were going to be taken. So when it also came to the action scenes in this story, I was quite literally on the edge of my seat. I could feel my heart racing because, as mentioned, I had no idea what to expect. I'm still very unsure about the villain in this story, the Doctor and Donna battling a distorted version of themselves. I think the idea is great, but was it pulled off well? I I think I need to watch it again to really make up my mind about that. Nevertheless, the villains were very creepy and made me feel very uncomfortable. The idea of our heroes that we know and love being distorted and being disgusting and creepy really worked, I thought. But the story itself I thought was rather good. It was creepy, it made you feel uneasy and nervous, and it felt very much like a mix between Midnight and a classic Who spaceship kind of story. I really liked that this story felt like a direct character piece for the Doctor and Donna, and I liked that we got to focus a lot more on their relationship. Last week with the Star Beast, we were thrown straight into the action, whilst Wild Blue Yonder allowed us to kind of sit back a bit with the Doctor and Donna, to feel a little bit nostalgic and to welcome back old friends. Last week in the Star Beast, we saw Donna regain her memories of her adventures with the Doctor. I think that the idea of Donna regaining her memories should have been left for this story. I think that it would have made a very interesting added piece to this unsettling story, and I think that it would have also allowed the regaining of Donna's memories to be more fleshed out and for us to be able to explore it a little bit more. As I mentioned in my review of the Star Beast last week, I thought that Donna regaining her memories was very, very rushed. So I think that if that was left for Wild Blue Yonder, fans would have been able to enjoy that little aspect of storytelling a little bit more. One thing that I was slightly disappointed about with this story was that when Russell T Davies mentioned Wild Blue Yonder, he spoke about the casting. But like, what casting? Apart from Isaac Newton and that old woman, there was no one else. So when reflecting back on his comments, I found that to be rather disappointing. One other little thing that I found to be rather disappointing was the robot. This robot featured on its own character poster, it featured in the marketing for this episode, and it also features on the actual poster for Wild Blue Yonder. So I was expecting the robot to have a bit more to do and a bit more of a role in this story, but it kind of just, it was pointless. The build up to the ship's explosion I thought was such a brilliantly done climax for this story. And with the Doctor and fake Donna escaping in the TARDIS, I was honestly yelling at the TV. The fact that the Doctor had left the real Donna Noble behind, I was freaking out. Russell T Davies has been teasing us all over social media that Donna might not make it out alive from these 3 specials. So I really didn't know whether or not she would have survived. Thankfully, she did. One thing that I kind of really liked about this story was that the sonic screwdriver was absent, which I think was, it was quite good. It was used a lot in the last episode, and it was used in new ways that I think will take a while for people to get their heads around. So it was nice to take a break from the sonic fix and everything, and it gave the opportunity for the Doctor's cleverness to be put to the test, having to save the day without his trusty equipment. Finally, let's talk about the ending. Wilfred Mott. I sobbed. I really did. Like as soon as that beautiful old face appeared on my TV screen, I had tears in my eyes. I was such a little girl, and it was such a wonderful return to see Wilf back and to see the joy in his eyes, seeing the Doctor once again. It was so gorgeous. I'm really hoping that we do get to see a little bit more of him in the final special. I mean, the Doctor did rush him into the TARDIS as the world was ending, so hopefully we will see a bit more of Wilf, and I'd love to also see his reaction to the new TARDIS. That cliffhanger though, I thought was great. I think it was only like a minute or 2 minutes, but it felt like everything was going insane already. The actual ending of the episode, I don't know, it was rather weird. It just felt like it ended so abruptly, but I thought it was a great little tease for what to expect in the final 60th special. So, Wild Blue Yonder. A creepy, fun story that I think did work well. However, I think I really need to sit down and watch it again to take it all in and to appreciate it properly. A second viewing is a must. It does have its issues, but I think that overall it was a really enjoyable story. So for now, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Between the 2 specials so far, I do prefer the Star Beast over Wild Blue Yonder. We have the Giggle to come next week, so maybe that will take top spot, who knows. But what did you think of Wild Blue Yonder? Let me know in the comments down below.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Whovian Commonly YouTube channel. Cool.